Total 180, the Caribbean's first and only lifestyle brand for men. We live in a world where mediocrity is celebrated, good is lauded, and great is applauded. But how often do we discuss true excellence? The person in our midst, in his 20-odd-year career, has exemplified excellence. He's a world-class chef. He has garnered awards such as BBC Extra's Best Steakhouse in the Middle East, Pro Chef Awards Best Meat Chef twice in a row, which has never been done, Caterer Hotelier Middle East Best Team Restaurant. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you Lij Heron.
Wow, I don't think I've ever gotten an introduction so amazing before.
Well, you deserve it, you deserve it.
But I'm still humbled by my accomplishments.
Yeah man. Welcome to the show. Welcome.
Thank you.
I would shake hand, but the corona.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, I appreciate it.
Alright, so we're going to the genesis of this whole thing, the genesis. How does one just decide that they're going to become a world-class chef?
Well,
in the same category as a Gordon Ramsay or a Wolfgang Puck, how does that happen?
I tell you a story. At first I didn't want to become a chef.
Really?
No, I wanted to actually do electrical engineering.
Okay.
So growing up, I will open washing machines, fridge, blow them up, and at the same time I'll be cooking. And long story short, I did electrical engineering at Excelsior, and then worked on a construction site, and they said, you know what, you need to cook. So then I had a career talk at the exec chef at Hilton Hotel in New Kingston. Just a career talk, didn't go there for a job. At the end of the career talk, he asked me what I was doing for a living, told him nothing, and he said, all right, how will you start working here tomorrow? And that was it. And during that time, I just moved from strength to strength. I didn't like the fact that a lot of executive chefs in Jamaica at the time were not Jamaican. We got the foreigners coming in, which is fine. They offer a certain amount of expertise. Right. And I just wanted to gain that expertise outside of Jamaica, then come back to Jamaica.
So you had no formal training?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't know. I actually, when I was at Hilton, Kingston at the time.
So prior to Hilton, you had no formal training?
No formal training.
Okay.
Just learning how to cook from my mother, because what happened was each child had a day to cook growing up.
Really? How many children are we talking about?
5 children.
Wow.
One sister, 4 brothers. Each child had a day to cook throughout the week. And my day was Saturday actually, which was actually, I guess the universe was telling me that I needed to cook, because what happened is mommy will go to Coronation Market Saturday morning. So I will cook, my day to cook was Saturday in the evening. So I got the fresh and best ingredients to cook. So it was really good for me.
So what was the culinary choices like at home? What kind of meals are we talking about here?
Growing up, my
turn corn meal, what was
turn corn meal? Yes and no. I got the turn corn meal experience from my grand aunt and Vera. But growing up in a Rastafarian household, we had certain things, like perfect example. Growing up, it was always ackee and saltfish. Coming out of my home, then I realized people would have ackee and corn pork. I had no idea people did that. Right. But growing up, my mother was very open with food. I would have French toast growing up, pancakes on Sundays, which always happens in our household, and she was very open with food. There were times when I remember I wanted to cook a lemon meringue pie, and my mother would go to the store and buy a rolling pin, just to show me, just to give me that enthusiasm at the same time. Even when I wanted to do electrical technology, she would buy screwdrivers for me. So she always encouraged me to do whatever I wanted to do.
So you were vegans or vegetarians?
No. We had meat growing up in the house. We had chicken and fish growing up.
Pork and
no pork.
Okay.
No pork at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So back to Hilton now. So so you are obviously a prodigy at this thing now. What's the next move?
The next move was my exec chef said to me at the time that, Lij, you need to leave Jamaica. I was at Hilton for about 8 months, and he said to me, look, because I spoke to him and I always asked a lot of questions with everyone at the hotel, and they said to me, you want to learn something new, something be different, leave Jamaica. Wow. So I learned something.
So this is your first cooking job.
First
and
cooking
8
job.
months they must say, Bridget, come now man. Jamaica too small for you, come.
And then with the help of my family, at the same time my mother and my sister, they looked for places for me to go. And you have to remember, at this point in time, there's no internet.
Right.
Was there? I can't even remember.
I doubt it.
But my sister told me about CIA, which is Culinary Institute of America, and also George Brown, which is in Canada, I think, at the time. And I got into both of them, but at the time, CIA in Hyde Park, New York, was much better, more world-renowned, and still is more world-renowned. So I went there, you know,
So you go to the institute, and what happens?
You know, it was very interesting there. It was cold. Because coming from the Caribbean, I wasn't used to the snow and the temperature, and I went there, I think in September or October. But it was nice. I had a good roommate who showed me the ropes. I mean, this guy was so good where I think God really blessed me, because when I went there, math was never my strong point. And he will always say to me, if you have a problem with the math exam, if I'm sleeping, wake me up. And one night I was struggling, and I actually, should I really wake up Roderick? And I said, you know what, let me wake him up. And I woke him up, he got up, showed me how to do the problem, and went straight back to bed. So I was blessed with certain people in my life that showed me. I felt that while at CIA, because being in the Caribbean, and also at the time CIA was a very small school, so you had about maybe 10 Caribbean students there, if that much. You know, so you created a very tight-knit community, and it was a good experience. And the thing about CIA is they teach you discipline from the get-go. You know, they teach you to be on time, make sure you're not late for class. And for the first class, I think we had culinary math, culinary French, then food and nutrition, butchery, fish kitchen, breakfast kitchen. So it's everything in one, and
let's talk about culinary math. Because a lot of us might go to school and say math's not really important. But you just need to know the basics. Break down culinary math. You know,
with culinary math, you know, you need to look. You need to know the food cost of something.
Right.
For example, a lot of hotels is usually a 30% food cost or 25% food cost. For those of you that don't understand, is for 30% food cost, if you sell something for $100, it should cost you $30 to make it. So that's a 30% food cost. So you make $70 profit, right? So in that food cost, you have to take into consideration rent, wages, utilities, all of those things, yeah, for that meal itself.
So are these intricacies the reason why the restaurant industry has the highest failure rate of all businesses?
Yeah.
I hear that them said 90% of restaurants fail in their first 6 months.
Yeah, because what happens is it's a business, you know. People always think that from you can cook, people will come.
People must eat, so it must work.
No. What happens is that what people fail to realize, you need service.
Service.
So if the food is up here and the service is down there, I won't come back. You know, vice versa, if the food is up here and the service is down here, service is up here, the food is down here, I won't come back. You need to have a balance, and you need to have consistency. If you don't have that consistency, then you will fall short. And what happens is, this is what a lot of people fail to realize, and also you need to have a good business mind. It's not about just cooking good food. You need to manage your budget. So
you're saying now then, being a good chef, the beginning is just being able to cook.
Precisely.
Or you have to have a manager, or you have to have a partner who is a good business manager.
Yeah, and being a good chef, well, I would say a good cook first. You follow the examples, learn how to cook, learn the foundations, and then that person will talk about food wastage, you know, make sure the stuff don't spoil, and tasting all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the foundation.
So you taste your food right through.
Right through.
So this is why my food tastes like cardboard, because I usually wait to the end, and then it's just too late at that point.
No, you can taste it while the flavors develop.
Right.
You know, but you really don't know until the end result. And at the end result, no, you have to say, what does it need? Does it taste good? Does it, I always tell my staff, will your grandmother be proud?
Wow.
right? That's my philosophy now. Back then it was kind of different, you know. So I would say, will your grandmother be proud? Will your grandmother like it, right? Will it create a memory? You know, I have this philosophy now. Back about 10 years ago, I wouldn't have that philosophy. I would say it does have to taste good. But in learning and growing up, I realized that food needs to be a memory. It's just like, say, you're going out at a party. What you remember? You remember a specific moment in time at that party or a certain time in your life. So food should be that. You know, growing up, I have that certain memories in my household. Growing up, what food is all about.
All right. So
it's.
What type of cuisine were you drawn to when you got into the CIA?
I just love food.
And it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. I just love. Oh, I tell you this, right? When I went to CIA, and at the time, Jamaica didn't have that much. Perfect example. When I went to CIA, you didn't have a wine bar like this 20 years ago.
Wow.
Right? So it just. But anyway, going forward, when I went to CIA, first time in an institution like that, only black person in the class. Sorry to bring up race. So I was learning, you know, and I was just very open with every single thing. I was tasting things that I don't usually taste. I mean, I mentioned I grew up in a Rastafarian home. I never had pork before.
Right.
So I would have the pork when I went there because I realized
so
that.
So sell out the thing?
No, he's not selling out, you know.
No?
No, he's not selling out. He's realizing.
Broadening your consciousness.
Broadening my consciousness. You know, is me being open to not limiting myself. You know, other people might say, why you do something like that? But the type of chef that I want to be, I know that I need to just be open to every single thing. Mind you, you do have a lot of chefs that don't eat certain things. I mean, look at Stush in the Bush, perfect example.
Right.
You know, I've eaten there before. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. They don't serve pork. That's their decision. But I decide that, you know what, I want to do it. So it's my decision.
All right. So you're in the CIA, when you completed your tenure there, what was the next move?
You know, the next move was rough because I graduated in October and 9/11 was in September. So my industry was done. There was no jobs, no opportunities. And I just spoke to one of my lecturers, Chef Corky Clark, you know, great guy, Fish Kitchen, and he just recommended me for a job in Sarasota, Florida, a seafood restaurant. Yeah, and I got the job. Yeah, really great guys. Eric, can't remember his last name. I should remember his last name because he made such an impact in my career. And was seafood, fresh seafood. I mean, this guy would bring in Dover sole fresh from France. I mean, still in rigor mortis. I mean, just thinking about that.
Dover sole?
Dover sole. It's a flat fish, swims like this.
Okay.
So what happens when it's born, it swims like this, right? But when it's fully grown, it goes sideways and it swims flat. Right, it's beautiful. I think rainforest sells it, but it's pretty expensive, right? But it's a beautiful white fish. So, seafood restaurant. I was the butcher / porter, so I was receiving all the goods in the restaurant, right? The seafood, snapper, scallops. I mean, I would get fresh scallops, and I would actually eat them raw to test the quality. They were that good. You know, I remember one time tuna, we got a 100-pound tuna in, about this big, and I'll have to fabricate it. In other words, cut it up, chop it up, so to say, and that was lovely. You don't have that now. You know, I will have fresh salmon coming in, you know, where I'll have to scale it and guts it. Beautiful.
You enjoyed scaling and gutting?
Yeah, loved it, man. Loved it.
You were meant to be a
loved
chef.
It.
Yeah,
loved
obviously
it.
you were meant
loved
to be a
it.
chef. Yeah. This was heaven sent.
It really was.
All right. So next,
I went to Ritz-Carlton in Jamaica, Rose Hall, at the time when it was open, and then came to Jamaica. Loved it here, but I got the itch to leave again. Yeah, for 2 years, and then while I was at Ritz-Carlton, I made a couple strides. I got promoted a couple times. I worked in I was in breakfast team first, and then I went to the dinner team, right? And then work with different people. And at Ritz-Carlton in Jamaica at the time, it was a beautiful time being at Ritz-Carlton because you had, their philosophy is totally different. Ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. Okay. I didn't have that in Jamaica before, right? And then and we were a young team at Ritz-Carlton Horizons Kitchen. And if you look at that team now, they're all outside of Jamaica, but they're in high positions at the time, right now. I got the urge to leave, went to Ritz-Carlton, Malaysia. Didn't work out, but I stayed in Malaysia for 8 months. Then I had to come back to Jamaica because of the tsunami. Came back, but I put on 20 pounds when I was 20 pounds? I had 20 kilos or, yeah, about 20 kilos to 40 pounds while I was in Malaysia for 8 months. Because
you were getting high in your own supply?
I was just eating. I was just eating, man. Because I mean, it was the first time I had Asian food cooked by Asians.
Wow.
So it is a totally different feeling. I remember the first night I went out to dinner, right? And I had a dessert, right? It was sticky rice and mango, right? And it's actually rice and mango.
Simple.
And
no additives.
No, it's rice, and it's sweet. Sticky rice, and then fresh mango. And I was in heaven eating that, man. And I mean, the people, I remember I ate at Indochine in Malaysia. Beautiful restaurant, it's still there now. I think they opened one in Dubai right now, Indochine restaurant. And I think I was about 10 people at the 10 people at the table. And they were just like, waiter, bring him this, waiter, bring him this. Because they couldn't believe how excited and my enthusiasm, because I was tasting different flavors for the first time. So I loved it. And so that's why I put on so much weight. And I was eating street food also.
Street food?
Yeah.
What's your take on street food? How you feel about street food?
I love it. You know, because a lot of people think that street food, I've had some of my best dining experiences, street food.
So you'd recommend for travelers, you think a traveler would be really shortchanging themselves?
Why not?
They don't partake in the street food.
You know what? For someone who says that, then they're not really a person that enjoys food. You know, a lot of people say, oh, I'm a foodie. If you're a foodie, then you need to be open-minded with everything. You shouldn't scorn someone that sells on the street. Yeah, you shouldn't, or someone that in a high-end restaurant. You can have good meals anywhere. You know, a lot of good places, just like in Jamaica. Look at Fatespend. You can have good food in Fatespend, yeah, and you can have good food at Summer House, and you can have good food precisely at Hellshaw. You know, so it ranges. I've had bad food experiences on the street and bad food experiences on high-end restaurants.
So take me now into your phase of excellence now, when you're starting to get these awards now. Beating up people like Gordon Ramsay and Wolfgang Puck. How did we get to this stage now?
Okay, how can I? Alright, the stage was when I was at Waldorf Astoria, right? In charge of Lexington Grill, Peacock Alley, and Camellia Lounge.
Where in the world is this now?
This is in UAE, in Ras Al Khaimah.
Okay.
Right?
Middle East.
Middle East. So when we opened Waldorf Astoria, my exec chef Rudolph Sigers, he wanted to make a mark. And he just inspired me and the entire team. So I said to him, you know what, chef? We're going to win the Steakhouse of the Year.
Wow.
Right? And he was like, really, Lij? I mean, you're sure, you know, I think we opened in 2013. And I said, yeah, why not? You know? So what we did, we said, we cut out as a team that we're going to do it. I told the restaurant manager and I told my team. And what happened is, as a team, we focused and we pushed all the time, consistently, and we won it, right? And I remember...
What are the criteria that define the best steakhouse?
The criteria?
Yeah, what makes your restaurant better than Gordon Ramsay?
Why you keep saying that, man?
Wanna know how
stop saying that.
I beat Chef Ramsay.
You know what? It's votes.
Votes?
The people voted.
By culinary experts.
Yeah, and also it has to do with service. So I can't take all the credit. You know, it was my team. I had a great team behind me in the kitchen, right? I had a great restaurant manager who was training his team also. So we stick together as a team. And I give you a perfect example where, and I'll always remember this. where I remember one night, I don't know what happened, but I was tired, right? And this is how important a team is. I was very tired and I plated a dish, and I'm not embarrassed to say this. I plated a dish and my sous chef came up to me, and it was my sous chef. I think it was my sous chef, I can't remember. Ganesh, I think so. And he said to me, "Chef, that's not the number one steakhouse plating. And we haven't won the award yet."
So plating means placing the food on a plate?
Right. So he actually checked me.
Wow.
And it was my responsibility to check him.
And you had the humility to look into
Precise, and I said, you know what, you're right. So I actually told him to give me a new plate, and I replated it. So it was just, the reason why I say that is a lot of times in life, people will think that, oh, you're always on your A game 24/7, right? But a lot of times it's also your team pushing you to be on your A game. Yes, I will always push them, and I'll say to them, look team, this is good, but it can be better. And on that particular day, I wasn't on my A game. And my sous chef said to me, "Chef, you know, that's not the number one steakhouse with plating," and I changed it around. You know, so and then you have to be consistent with the food, and you can't be afraid to say this is wrong, you need to correct it. And you also can't be afraid to tell your staff you don't like it, and you need to treat your staff with respect. Because I mean, people will always say, "Wow, you're a great chef," but let's be honest, I don't cook the food in the restaurant. I don't. All the food, I'm running the kitchen, I show them how to cook, but I don't cook every single meal that comes out of the
Good
restaurant.
point. Give me some insight now. So when I go into a 5-star restaurant, how does it work? You come in, you conceptualize the menu.
Yeah. I conceptualize
the menu.
I write the menu, but I will ask my sous chef for input.
Right.
Because he can have ideas.
Then now, what's the next step now? So
I train the team.
You train the team.
Right, and then
them cook it for you.
They cook it for me. I know. Well, I show them what I want, how it needs to be tasted, right? How it needs to taste. And then I taste it. And what I would do, I'll run specials for the menu, and I'll ask guests, "Okay, how you doing?" I'll go out personally. How you doing tonight? You know, I have something that a dish I want to try that I'm thinking about on the new menu. Would you like to try it? You know, of course I have to sell it to them. And if they like it, boom, I'll put it on the menu.
What's your inspiration behind choosing the menu offerings?
Choosing them.
I always wonder, because you go to a restaurant, I mean, apart from restaurants that are specific to certain ethnic backgrounds, like how do you figure out what you're going to sell?
Wow, that's a good question, you know. It depends on, for a steakhouse, obviously it has to be steaks.
Right.
But you have different dishes that you will think about. So what I will do is see look at my competition, what they're offering, and try to do something different. You know, something that they've never had before. You know, so you have to stay ahead of the game all the time. And then your menu has to be balanced. You have to have cheap items. You have to have middle range items and expensive items, and light items also, because there are a lot of times when you come into a restaurant, you're hungry, so you want a heavy meal. Someone else is dining with you, they don't want something heavy, so you need to create a light meal also. You know, suppose you come to the restaurant, you want a ribeye steak, right, with mashed potatoes and steamed vegetables, right? So that's very heavy. Right, and a glass of Merlot, very heavy. Someone else is with you. "Oh, you know, I'm not very hungry tonight. You know what? Maybe I have a salmon with herb crusted salmon with let's say a thyme red wine sauce, and maybe some saffron couscous and cauliflower rice." So that in itself is a light meal. You know, so you'll be stuffed. This person will be satisfied because they don't want anything heavy. So it ranges on how you ride the meal. And everything, you have to have a balance with everything. It's not that easy. A lot of people think it's easy.
No, I don't think it's easy because I can barely make a good omelette. So this is why you're here. All right, so let's list some more of the accolades now. So you've gone into the winner's circle now. So you have the best steakhouse, What else now? What else is happening?
Oh boy. Okay, I won BBC Steakhouse of the Year. Right? Then I won Pro Chef Middle East, Meat Chef of the Year. My team won it, not myself. Then I won Team Restaurant of the Year for Caterer Hotelier Middle East. And I got nominated for Chef of the Year also for Pro Chef Awards and BBC Good Food Awards also. Yeah, so those are all.
And this is all within what kind of time window? Time span?
You're putting me on the
spot. So modest. You know, Jamaica, we like to win everything in us. So that's what we want.
You know what? I didn't cut out. Okay, even though I cut out to win those awards, it's easy to reach to the top, but it's harder to stay there.
Yes.
The awards, I can't remember.
You can't remember, it's a blur.
It's not a blur. Let's say in a 4-year span, I think, or 3-year span. Yeah.
Mashing up the place.
Yeah, 4 or 3 year plan.
So, did you get to a point now where you had won it all and you became jaded?
You know what? I was missing Jamaica.
You're missing Jamaica.
I wanted to come back to the Caribbean, and I've always wanted to leave Jamaica, get the experience, and come back. Yeah, a lot of people in the past have said to me, why are you coming back? You know, you can be what you want to be, but why not come back? There's no place like home. And what is going on in Jamaica in terms of the economy, in terms of the food, it's a perfect time to come back.
It is.
Perfect time to come back. You just have to know what you need to do.
Have you ever had interest in owning your own restaurant?
Yes, I do. You know what? I don't know what the future holds. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. We will see. I'm getting old now, you know, so, you know.
No. You're only as young as you feel.
That's true.
So, I want to ask you some questions now. Give me your top 5 best traits that define a good chef.
Wow. Top 5
Because you have people who can cook good, and everybody who can cook as chef. So,
I'll have to take from my mentors and myself. You know, coming up in the industry, chefs work very hard. You know, shout, throwing, come out of the kitchen.
We've seen Garnered in action. We've seen him.
Yeah, that's on TV. That's all I show also. But I used to be like that.
Really?
Yeah, man. I remember once I've told, when I was at Berkshire, I told my staff, get out of the kitchen, stand in the corner. You know, yeah, you know.
Really?
But I wasn't a happy chef at the time.
Okay.
I got great scores, food was good, I wasn't happy. You know?
Why weren't you happy? You had everything.
Just because you think you have everything, it doesn't mean that you really have everything. Yeah, my food was good, I got great scores, but I wasn't happy. Right? So I got the opportunity to go to Waldorf Astoria. They had a great opening. So I went there and I learned from my exec chef there that you don't have to be angry and treat people like crap and shout to get what you want, right? So I changed my managerial approach. You know, I would ask my team what they think, ask them ideas, I would joke around with them, but still have that line. Yeah. So one, you have to care about your team, right? Train them. You have to train them. Train your replacement. Right?
So don't keep the knowledge and be threatened. Share the knowledge.
Spread the knowledge.
Empower them.
Right, because what happening is knowledge is power. For example, you're my sous chef. If I give you everything I know, and this is what my mentor told me one time, what creates a great chef, Lij? And I said to him, you know, food, tasting, being famous, he says, the amount of great chefs you create. Yeah, so that blew me away.
I love that.
Man. And what that does, it makes your life so much easier.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, tasting, training your team, humility, and never forget that you're at the bottom at one point in time.
Right.
You know,
because chefs used to bark at you too, right?
Precisely.
And tell you you're worthless.
Yeah. Oh God, I've had it. I've had it all.
How did that make you feel when that happened to you?
You know, at first I hated it, and then I used that for inspiration. As fuel to gain more knowledge.
But you still feel like treating them better is still better.
Yeah, but treating them fair, because people can take advantage of your kindness. Right? So you have to be fair and strict.
Okay.
And you have to give them a little fair at the same time. You know, a thin line between fair.
Oh, so FAIR and FEAR. A little bit of...
Yeah, a little bit of both.
You
have to, and then you have to train them. People want to learn, you know, right? So you have to give them that knowledge and ask them questions. What do you think of this? Or I would say to my staff sometimes, all right, I want a chicken dish. And I'd say, okay, you cook it, you tell me. And I'll ask them why you put those flavors together. And let people think for themselves. You know, if you cook something for me, I'll taste it. I will know what's wrong with it. I'll ask you, taste it again. What you think it needs. And if you say, it tastes good, you know, say no. What you think it needs. If you say you don't know, I'll say, taste it again. You don't think it needs more salt? Do you think it needs more flavor? And then you taste it and you go, oh yeah, chef, you're right, you know. So you have to look for something. So you have
one more no.
One more no. If you want to open your own restaurant, you need to manage money. Learn how to manage money.
Learn how to manage money.
You have to learn how to manage money and your food costs. And you have to think like a thief also.
Think like a thief?
Because you have people that will steal. I'm sorry to say it, but you have to manage everything.
Well, people can steal the meat and the ingredients and all that stuff.
Customers too can steal from you if they want to.
I mean, just run through the door.
Yeah, of course that can happen. And how to also, I mean, I don't have the patience to be front of the house. I'll say that straight off the bat, you know. But you have your waiters, and you have your waiters need to learn from how to train the people, also your wait staff, and you need to communicate with the restaurant manager and show some respect for them also, you know. And always stay ahead of the game. Don't be a BlackBerry, you know. Be an Android, you know. Remember,
right.
You know.
I like that.
Yeah.
Like that. All right, Lij. Fun fact. I'm a struggling chef at home.
Yeah.
Help me, please. Just give me some tips. How can I make my food edible? So right now, you have people who cook food and people who prepare food. I just prepare food.
What do you like to cook, or what does the person that you're cooking for like to eat?
Well, I would say I'm a flexitarian.
What's a flexitarian?
So I eat a primarily plant-based diet, but I eat a little bit of seafood.
Plant-based diet with a little bit of seafood. What type of seafood?
Well, like
you have lobster, you have parrots.
Yeah, mostly fish, but I do like all seafood. So I'm home, I'm struggling.
Alright, okay. If you want how I make my steamed fish, simple. Onion, scallion, thyme, scotch bonnet pepper, onion, scallion, thyme, scotch bonnet pepper, tomato, salt, black pepper. Have my fish and butter. Forgot that.
Butter, what the butter?
Hold on, man. Have my fish. Okay, I season it. Your salt and pepper.
How long must season it before I cook it?
I just season it. Don't worry about that. Just season it how you want to season it separately. All right. No. On the bottom, you cut up everything what I just said a while ago. Mix it up. Okay. On the bottom, you put the seasoning there. Put the fish on top. All right. Then you put the remaining leftover on top of the fish. Butter on the bottom. Aluminum foil over the fish. Put it on the fire, on the stove top. Don't add water. Don't add coconut milk. Right? Here's why. When you do that, the juices from the tomato, the onion, the scallion, everything, all those juices will come out and it will create the gravy. So all of that will be in the fish. Right? So that's your steamed fish right there. Alright, and you can put your bam inside there also at the same time. But you need to have a lot of tomatoes so all the flavor come out.
Oh, tomato.
Yeah. So and then you say your
I'm a flexitarian.
And so that's one. Your vegetables, meat, callaloo. You know what I had for dinner yesterday actually? I had gungo peas with salmon. And all I did was, it was gungo peas, cook it normally. I saute some onion, garlic, thyme, mushrooms, tomato, mix that with the gungo peas, cook it down, finish it up with some butter, and pan-sear salmon, and that was it.
Alright, can I get cooking lessons? Can I get some cooking? No, cause you see, you're just reeling off Greek to me right now. Yeah. Can I get some free cooking lessons, sir?
Oh boy, we'll see how it goes.
Can I come to the kitchen and be an apprentice and just help out?
Of course, no problem. Can be my sous chef. No problem at all.
So there you have it, the exciting multinational story of world-class chef Lij Heron.
Alright, respect.
Thank you so much for watching Total 180. We want to thank the management and staff of the premier wine bistro in Kingston, Cellar 8, where the motto is relax and enjoy life with us. See you soon. You're welcome.